plains spread southward, an ocean of wind-troubled grass and grain. It has its remembered textures, winter wheat heavily headed, scoured and shadowed as if schools of fish move in it. Spring wheat with its young seed rows, as precise as combings in a boy's wet hair. Gray-brown summer fallow with the weeds stitched under, and grass, the marvelous curly prairie wool, tight to the earth's skin, straining the wind as the wheat does, but its own way, secretly. This passage from Wallace Stegner's 1961 non-fiction work Wolf Willow uses vivid imagery to transport the reader out to the wheat fields of the Great Plains. While not only an example of superb visual rendition, this passage is also an example of one of the many contributions Wallace Stegner has made to the conservationist movement throughout his lifetime.
Chaos is the law of nature, and order is the dream of man.
But it's a dream.
But it's a dream.
Yeah. Actually, in the whole history of the West was dominated by that feeling that the earth is made for man and for man's use, and that anything he wants to do with it is his, and that it isn't even proper to let it go to waste, as it were, without human use.
Wallace Stegner, otherwise known as the Dean of Western Writers, was born on February 18, 1909, in Lake Mills, Iowa. He spent the better part of his childhood traveling with other Dust Bowl refugees, reflecting that growing up he lived in 20 places in 8 states and Canada. Throughout his lifetime, Stegner wrote 30 different books, a mix of fiction and nonfiction, along with several essay collections. Most significantly, his novel Angle of Repos, 1972, won the Pulitzer Prize, and his novel The Spectator Bird, 1977, won the National Book Award. He also spent several years lecturing at several universities, including Stanford and Harvard University. While all of his works had a strong theme of conservation, his essay The Wilderness Letter, which Stegner wrote in the 1960s while advocating for the conservationist movement in America, has been hailed by many as an influential perspective on the importance of defense of all places untouched by man.
We need wilderness preserved, as much of it as is still left, and as many kinds, because it was the challenge against which our character as a people was formed. The reminder and reassurance that it is still there is good for our spiritual health, even if we never once in 10 years set foot in it. It is good for us when we are young because of the incomparable sanity it can bring briefly as vacation and rest into our insane lives. It is important to us when we are old simply because it is there. Important, that is, simply as idea.
Stegner passed on April 13, 1993, at the seasoned age of 84. He left behind a legacy of accomplished authorship, along with free-thinking perspective about the role of nature in modern society. Because of environmentalist champions like Stegner, the relationship between man and the wild remains a highly discussed and debated issue to this day.